Good morning. It's April the 29th. I'm back. I didn't walk for the weekend at all because of so many things that had to be done. But almost fell down the stairs. Anyway, I'm off, and once again, I'm walking down to South Albert. My car is in yet again this morning. Hopefully, it's really fixed this time. Something about a vacuum that was sucking in air, making a whistling sound. So a valve had to be replaced. See, last time I walked down there, I walked on this side of Albert, so this time I'll walk down the other side by all the government buildings, I guess. It's about 13 degrees right now, going to 19, so a nice day. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, I think. So what was I busy with? Well, of course, there is the Kickstarter, which continues. You can back Shapers of Worlds Volume 5, the latest anthology featuring science fiction and fantasy by authors who were guests on my award-winning podcast, The World Shapers. Go to tinyurl.com/shapersofworlds5, 5 being a numeral, so Shapers of Worlds 5, tinyurl.com/shapersofworlds5. And you can kick in. Lots of great rewards. There's ebooks and print books and audiobooks and Tuckerizations, which is where your name gets used for a character. And I'm even offering mentorship and critiquing and stuff like that. Check that out. So that takes 2 or 3 hours every day. So it's a huge time sink while it's going on. It's about 87% funded, 10,500 450 basically at the moment, of 12,000 Canadian. With 10 days to go, so looking pretty good. But anyway, that was one thing. Friday night was dress rehearsal for the Radiant Dawn, not Oh Radiant Dawn, it's the name of the song, but the concert we called Radiant Dawn, for Wascana Voices, the high-end self-directed choir I sing with. We had dress rehearsal on Friday night. Concert was Sunday afternoon, so there went most of the day. You can watch that, actually. I can't add it to a playlist. I don't know why they've got it set up that way, but I did send out a post, and you can find it if you just search up Wascana Voices. It's the most recent concert, Radiant Dawn. First 15 minutes is just looking at the piano, because that's when they started the live stream, 15 minutes before the concert. But then we come in, and it's a great concert. I'm easy to find. I'm the guy in the end. As you're looking at it on the right end, that's me singing second bass. We had the world premiere of a new piece too, called I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud, based on a poem by Wordsworth, and written by noted local composer David L. McIntyre. Oh, they're doing something over there, not sure what. What else? Oh, and then Sunday afternoon, sorry, that was Saturday afternoon. Sunday afternoon, well, a couple of things. We had brunch with my brother and sister-in-law here in town. And then immediately after that, we went out to the Wascana Country Club for their opening. Free food and drink. And then, morning. Then we went, immediately after that, Alice and I had to go to Beauty and the Beast rehearsal. We were running from the prologue up through scene 4, which is pretty much the bulk of my scenes. So I was a little out of it when I first got there, but by the end of the run, I was remembering everything. It's like I walked in and I was on stage and I still hadn't got my brain around anything or had a chance to look at my lines or anything. So anyway, it's going to be a great performance. That's at end of May in Dark Hall. I'm playing Maurice, Belle's father. Guess somehow I play old guys now. Don't know when that happened. Used to play young guys. 30 years ago. Can't imagine what happened in those 30 years. So looking forward to that. We have another big rehearsal tonight. So hello, Santana. Thank you. Happy summers to you too. It's not summer yet. In fact, it's going to be below freezing again later this week or next week. And it's supposed to rain this week, like tomorrow. I don't know what the walking situation will be this week. I've sometimes walked with an umbrella, but it depends on what the wind's doing. You can walk with an umbrella if it's just lightly drizzling straight down. But if the wind's blowing, and as you can see from the flags, it almost always is here, it's a lot harder. So we'll see. Not promising a lot of walks this week because of a couple of other things going on. It's a busy week. I'm doing income tax. I've got to sort through books and then load up our car for 2 events. Thursday is Saskatchewan Libraries Association annual meeting, and Shadow Paw Press has a book table there, so I have to get books to that. Also, I'm doing what's called a lightning round, where I talk to the librarians about Shadow Paw Press. And then the same day that wraps up, as soon as it's over, I'll have to also have the car loaded with books for Saskexpo, which is the Comic-Con style convention up in Saskatoon. We'll go up Thursday because it's also Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Saskatchewan annual meeting, and my wife's an engineer and a past president. That hole's still there, and it's got water in it too. So I thought it was just a sinkhole, but apparently there was an underground pipe that broke and created this mess. And now that hole's been there for over, it must be a year now. I'm not walking around the lake, just going around by the bridge here and heading on up Albert Street. But you do get a bit of a view of the lake today. There's the vegetated building over there, of course. Water looking fairly ruffled with today's breeze. You can see the pumps again on this side. Up here's the bridge and the dam that creates the lake. See a duck or goose? Those are always around. Sometimes you see pelicans on the other side of the dam here. They tend to congregate down there. I think because fish get washed over the spillway. Of course, they're fish eaters. We might glimpse them underneath here as we go by. So Thursday night, take a car full of books up to Saskatoon. Friday afternoon, set up my book table at Saskexpo, and then the Saskexpo runs Saturday and Sunday. There's the dam, the spillway. If you see anything white on the other side, it's probably a pelican, but they're not on the rocks there where they usually like to sit, so I guess they're not there today. I guess we'll go this way, just to be different. Oop, there's a rabbit. If we see wildlife on these walks, it's usually either a rabbit or a goose. I don't know that I've ever seen anything more interesting than that. Maybe a muskrat or something in the lake. There's some muskrats around there. There's always geese over here. There's one. Should be seeing baby geese before too long. You can see the grass is starting to turn green. The leaves are starting to bud out. You can see it there, especially on that tree. So, looking more like spring all the time. This is not a proper path, but it's one that people have created over the years. Back to Albert Street, but only for a moment, because now I'm going to go around this way. Because it's boring walking down Albert Street. It's just a long straight sidewalk. Oh, lots of leaves on that one. Besides, this is the scenic way past the horse rooms. More dogs. There are always people with dogs. That's why I like to have a cat. I hate to have the responsibility of walking dogs every day. Also, I'm just more attuned to cats than dogs. I don't know why. I like dogs fine, but I like cats better. Someone said having a dog is like having a perpetual toddler you have to look after. Cats are more look after themselves much better. Okay, now we're, let's see, was it just last week I walked the other way on this side of the street? Now we're walking this way, south. So there's the Provincial War Memorial over on the right. And we'll see, of course, the ledge. You can see it from here, which you won't be able to once the leaves are fully on. Like I said, doing taxes today. There's also publishing stuff that needs doing. I have to look at my lines for tonight's rehearsal at some point. I want to be properly prepared this time. So there's the legislative building, as there always is. Doesn't move around. Albert Street over there. War Memorial over there. Look at it. War Memorial, of course, has names of the fallen from various wars, first and second especially, but also some of the more recent conflicts. I wore my sweater because it was 13, but I'm actually warm enough. I wish I'd just come in shirt sleeves. The sun is warm. I'll be kind of sweaty when I get there. It's about a 45-minute walk. That should be about how long this walk is. It's the west wing of the legislative building. There will be flowers here, but not for a little while yet. There you go. There'll be a fountain up here, but not for a little while yet. In the not too distant future. What there isn't over here is a sidewalk. I'm not sure why. It peters out right here. But this over here will be a fountain soon enough. Next month sometime, those should start up. Nice place to sit and contemplate the water while you have your lunch or something. There's various monuments and memorials throughout the area. I don't even remember what that one is. I actually thought it was going to be breezier than it is, so I put the little fuzzball on top of the microphone. I should probably do that all the time. I do think it tends to improve the sound if there's any wind at all. And this being Saskatchewan, there's almost always some. I'll be in Saskatoon toward the end of next month too, because my daughter's going to be competing in the provincial music festival, which is up there. In one category, if she does well, she could get recommended to Western Regionals in Victoria, I think. So that would be cool. And first week in June, I'll be in Toronto. And in August, in Calgary, and also out in Cypress Hills. And right after that, we're going to England. So, heading into a very busy summer. Will I be able to live stream any walks in England? I don't know. I don't know what the roaming situation is going to be. I don't want to find myself paying hundreds of dollars. So I'll have to look at that very carefully before we go. First government building, the Walter Scott Building, named after the first premier of the province. The glassed-in area is not original. There's it's an accessibility thing, namely there's an elevator in there to get you up. Before it was just stairs. Hello, Yvonne. We're in England, London. It's where my daughter's going to school for the next year. Deptford, Greenwich area, specifically. And we'll do some other stuff while we're in England, because I've been, but it was 1978 or 9. So it's been a long time, and I'm pretty sure things have changed. And I actually didn't spend any time in London. I was up in Edinburgh for 3 weeks, and then in Cardiff for 2 weeks. And then we did a 2-week tour around the country. So I saw quite a bit. But again, it was 40 years ago. Yeah, she's getting a Master's of Dance Science, which is a MSc, Master of Science degree, at a conservatory called Trinity Laban, because she wants to be a physiotherapist who focuses on dance, and this will be, biomechanics of dance, all that sort of thing. And there's a research component, so she'll be conducting some sort of research while she's there. All very cool. Yeah, the only time I've ever been over there, I was on something related to a choir tour. Once in Great Britain, England and Scotland and Wales, and once in, twice, big choir tours in Europe in the 80s. 82 was a 6-week tour, 87 was a 4-week tour. Kind of cool. We got to go into Eastern Europe on the 87 tour. If you told me then that, a year later the wall would fall, wouldn't have believed it. We went through Checkpoint Charlie and went into Czechoslovakia with the guards running mirrors under the bus to make sure nobody was holding on, trying to get out of the country. So I'm kind of glad I got to go while it was still like that, and just confirm that communism is evil. And yet people still fall for the lies around communism. This is the second book. It's not a book, it's a building. Named after a former premier. This is Lloyd Hall. This was named after. It's called Lloyd Place, actually. No, Hall. Is that his name? No. Well, what was his first name? His last name was Lloyd. Anyway, this is Lloyd Place, named after that premier. Premier Lloyd. And then the next one is the T.C. Douglas Building, named after T.C. Douglas, former premier. Also home to the Mackenzie Art Gallery. Lloyd Place, says so right above the door. Very green on the grass here. And the leaves are working on it. It's usually end of May before they're fully budded out. But, it's only 3 weeks away for the time frame when I think of them as being mostly budded out. So every walk, they'll be better until they're out. Now it's kind of that blush of green. Of course, this T.C. Douglas building is architecture that reflects the prairie landscape. On this side, it has terraces that have plants in them. Don't look like much now, but they too will be greener a bit later on. Mackenzie Art Gallery is kind of down at this end on 2 floors. No, 1 floor. Yeah, 2 floors, I guess. 2 floors. Bottom 2. Plus the basement is where they have all their art storage and everything. It's usually about 20 minutes to here. Was I right? Let's see. 21. So pretty much 20 minutes exactly to the Mackenzie. It's warm enough, I'm actually glad to be in the shade. Some artwork over there. We'll walk by that this time, I think. Some over here. That piece is something that's very connected with the Mackenzie. Used to be in their old location. I remember they moved it here when they moved. Quite a while ago now. We'll go down this way. There's some Fafard cows up there by noted local artist, the late Joe Fafard. I like this piece too. There's the Fafard cows. Kind of famous for his cows. There's some in Toronto, financial area, that are well known. We visited his fountain. They took people to various artist studios. It's very interesting. It was very interesting. And for some reason I'm getting unstable transmission. Hope that fixes itself here in a minute. My concern is when I see that is that I've run into my data cap. That's what's happened. This will be mostly people watching the recording. Wait our turn. There's our turn. Go up here by the Regina Christian School. Yeah, I'm very concerned. That has not gone away, which means you're not really seeing this if you're watching it live. It'll be buffering or breaking up like crazy, for which I apologize. I can't do anything about it. If it's the data cap I've run into, well, that'll reset probably on Monday or Wednesday, May 1st. If it's just bad connection because of something else, it'll hopefully clear up in a minute. Oh, well, there, it did clear up. So I guess it was just, maybe it's the budding leaves blocking my signal. So I don't know how badly that buffered, but I apologize for that. I don't know why. I had no control over it. But I find it weird that I get a weak signal along Albert Street, which is like one of the main streets in the city. You'd think there'd be a good signal all the way along it. But I guess it depends where the signal's coming from and where the cell tower is. Regina Christian School's playground there. Condos, there's another high school not too far over that way. Not sure why they're hiding in the bushes. Looks like I lost all of my people who were watching the live stream, so. Oh no, there's still people there. That's an 8, it looked like a 0. Hopefully that doesn't buffer anymore. Rest of the walk. Next intersection will take us into the commercial strip at the end of South Albert. First we go past Marion Chateau here. Assisted living for seniors, which I will be officially in 2 months, July 20th. I turn 65. Do I feel 65? I don't know. I don't feel the way I thought 65 would feel, because I don't feel like I'm old most of the time. Your body tells you, though, every now and then. Like, sit too long and you're sore when you get up, or things like that. Generally, though, I think I'm doing okay. I get regular checkups and all that. Got a stress test coming up. I don't expect that to be a problem, considering I'm doing these walks without running out of breath or anything like that. But we'll see. It's kind of nice back in there. Don't know that I've been in any of these apartments. I've been on the grounds, but I don't think I've ever even been in the main part of the building here. Retirement living, it says on the sign. Another exciting thing I'm going to do when I'm down at this end of town is buy kitty litter. Woohoo! Respite and trial stays available. And they have open houses, so you can see what things look like in there. These places are usually pretty expensive. You can eat up your retirement funds pretty quick if that's all you got to live on. I don't get to retire. As I keep saying, what would I do if I retired? Write a book? That's what I do now. If I retired, I'd quit writing books. At the moment, I'm not writing anything because I'm publishing books, but I do have, once the Kickstarter's over, I have 100 pages of a new novel, which I will polish up and send to my agent and see what he thinks. Hopefully that leads to something. I have a middle grade book that's looking for a home. Been waiting for a response forever. I may end up publishing that one through Shadowpaw Press. Probably do just as well. Might do better, actually. And it would start a series. I've also got a YA book that's well on its way, but kind of stalled again because of all the leaf blower, because of all the publishing tasks I'm doing. And I've got books lined up into next year, but I'm probably not going to take on much more for all of next year. I need a respite, as the sign said. And I need to do more writing. I'm not happy when I'm not writing. And it's not like the publishing is making money. I'll probably save money by writing, make more money writing than I am publishing. Barring a few exceptions, like the Downloaded, which is the Robert J. Sawyer novel I'm publishing. He's a big name, and it's selling really well. Pre-sales, it hasn't even released yet. So we'll see. comes out May 7th. I'll be in Calgary for that book launch. Joint book launch with another science fiction novel I'm publishing, The Trader's Son, by the late, great Canadian author Dave Duncan. Having a night of Canadian science fiction at the main branch of the Calgary Public Library. I got a grant to go, so I will go and metaphorically wave the Shadowpaw Press flag and push the Kickstarter 2 days before it ends, and mention, what I do and what else is coming up from Shadowpaw Press in the way of science fiction and fantasy. There's lots of non-science fiction and fantasy coming up. I have 2 poetry books coming up, reprint of a literary novel. One thing I'm going to stop doing is reprints. There's really no money in those, I've discovered. But I do have a couple more reprints coming up. I have, 3 science fiction novels coming out this fall? Ashme's Song by Brad C. Anderson. The Sunrunners by James Bowe. And he's currently kickstarting a companion, which I will be publishing through my In the Sky Books imprint, called Tales from the Silence. Short stories set in the same world as the Sunrunners. Those will come out at the same time. Is the goal. Yeah, what about the Cathedral Social Hall? I have been there, but it's a long way back the other way. I walk by it every time I walk downtown, pretty much. Western Pizza, been in there many a day, always for something to do with lyric, Regina Lyric Musical Theater, like a cast party or something like that. It's not a place we think to go otherwise. That used to be called the Golden Mile Center. That's got some really boring name. This has been an empty lot for a long time. I think it had a gas station or something, and so it took extra cleanup, and now nothing has been done yet. But there is a sign here that says something is coming. It may not be the first time there's been a sign there saying something is coming, so we'll see. You get a nice lake in the middle if it's wet, but that's not the purpose of the lot. There's a little water in there now. Should be more tomorrow if it rains the way they say it will. Yes, what do they have here on the sign? Pre-leasing. Is this some sort of generic office building space? Yeah, looks like a million other places. But better than an empty lot. Hello, Hanif. Yeah, this is a commercial strip here, so it's all business from that last intersection all the way down to the ring road. Well, on this side there's some residential past Gordon Road, but on the other side it's shopping mall and Chapters Indigo bookstore. What do they actually call this place? Fairfield Inn and Suites. Okay, it's a Fairfield Inn and Suites. It has what they call a London pub in it. London Bell. That's the vibe they're going for anyway. I've been in there a couple of times. It's pretty good. I've written in there a couple of times. Another hotel coming up. Kentucky Fried Chicken over there. Someone was specifically looking for that the other day because they were looking to maybe live in the Albert Park neighborhood over there, and I was pointing out things, and they knew that there should be a KFC, and there was. So we didn't hit this one perfectly. To wait. If you went that way, you could drive to the university pretty quick. You can see apartment buildings over there in the next street over. This one used to be called West Harvest Inn. Now it's called Royal Hotel. Royal Hotel always makes me think of Weyburn, where I grew up. There's a Royal Hotel down there. It may be 11, but it feels a lot warmer in the sun. High T-pose. Hello. I had to lift my sunglasses to read that. Dairy Queen's been there forever. I used to go in there quite often after dance things when Alice was littler. Indian restaurant next to it. There used to be something else. Earl's over there, which used to be on this side of the street. I do like the fact we have sidewalks on South Albert. Lots of cities in this kind of an area wouldn't have them, but South Albert is old enough that they still have sidewalks. Some of the new developments, commercial areas, there's no sidewalks. You're supposed to drive everywhere. That used to be a Blockbuster. And then it turned into a number of different things, since there are no Blockbusters anymore. And this next one used to have our favorite bookstore in it, Book and Briar Patch, but they closed down their retail. They were still doing, like, fulfilling book orders for schools and things, and they may still be doing that, I don't know. But it used to be we'd come down here almost every Saturday. There was a coffee shop attached, and we'd have lattes and cinnamon buns, and Alice would look at the books. It's been Crocus and Ivy, which is a clothing store, basically. A few other things in there. I don't know exactly what you'd call it. Clothing, bedding, knickknacks, kitchen stuff. It's been that for a long time. Another one that's changed names, this hotel. And the Knotted Thistle pub used to be called the Blarney Stone. It was very Irish. Knotted Thistle sounds more Scottish. As I say, this is where a waitress spilled a whole pint of Guinness on my suit. I was there to see the Arrogant Worms perform. I was in a suit because we left the symphony early to see them. I don't know that I got the whole pint, but I got a not insignificant amount of it. Ah, yes. I remember it well. This one also has a water park, which I used to take Alice to for Christmas parties fairly often. I don't think we ever had one for her here, but I know some of her friends did, and she would be there. My doctor's office used to be over there, but not anymore. It's moved. The Atlas, it's called now. It's the Travel Lodge. It was a Travel Lodge is what it was. There's the big water park sign. And tucked away behind, not this one, but the next one is you can see it sticking up over there. There's another hotel, Holiday Inn and Suites. That was a brew pub at one point. Oh no, that was it. That was a brew pub before it turned into Canadian Blood Services. It was Brewster's, it was called. I used to go in there a few times a year for this and that. Everything that comes and goes. This frozen yogurt place has been here a long time, although now it seems to have a subway attached to it. I think maybe that's different than the way it started, but at least it's still there if you like frozen yogurt. Lee's Chop Suey over there, way back. I remember it was an Australian themed restaurant, which you don't see a lot of, and haven't seen one since. But I ate there a few times, I remember. A long time ago, it was pre my going out with my wife, current wife, only wife. And we've been married for 26 years, it was, in September, and dated before that. So it must have been early 90s when I was there. And it was still an Australian restaurant. Down Unders, I think it was called. Hi, Kev. Which McDonald's? The one at the end here? There's the keg. The new keg, I think of it as. Grocery store on the other side. Getting fairly close, not too much farther. That Save on Foods up there that you can see now on the right, the distance is on opposite OK Tire, which is where my car is waiting for. Big gas station and car wash here, the Co-op one. That place is always, it's a Japanese fast food place, sushi and tempura, or teriyaki, attached to a gas station. So I always thought that was an odd, and it's been like that for a long time. Camel Tire. There's the Co-op. A&W coming up. All your fast food needs, you'll find it on South Albert. Including the McDonald's I just referenced down at the very end. I bought a tire there once. I think I got one fixed maybe. Like I said last time I came this way, it's unlikely I bought a single tire. It was probably got one repaired there. This used to be Earl's over here. Somewhere in here. I've kind of... in my mind, there was something different, and I can't figure out what it was. But anyway, it's now India House. A&W's been there forever, but they completely rebuilt the building a few years ago. There's a Wendy's over there for another fast food option. There used to be a comic store in this building, but not anymore. There's a tailor shop where I bought Alice's high school graduation dress over there. We bought it. I don't think I paid for it. My wife did. She has a real job. Makes real money. Being an engineer. I should have been an engineer. We could have been a 2-engineer family and we'd be rich. Ish. Petro-Can is where I often buy gas and get the car washed. Sure, that's important for you to know. There's the exit to the car wash. And there's the Save on Foods I was talking about. You can actually see past the Pizza Hut. The OK Tire sign is now coming into view. So almost done. Pretty close to 45 minutes, which is what I expected. Then I'm just going to zip down that way a little further and get kitty litter and head back, because the cleaning lady's at the house and I have to get back in time for her to wrap up and pay her. Save on Foods. There's a Starbucks in there that I've occasionally written in, usually if I'm just getting an oil change or something. And no, it won't be very long. If I'd known it was going to be this short, I probably would have stayed down here this morning. But I didn't know how long this would be. So I will actually, by way of product placement, I guess, I'll stop here with the OK Tire sign. I've been happy with their service here, so if you're looking for a service place in Regina, OK Tire is pretty good. Okay, that's it for this walk. Thank you.